Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I am Josh. This is the Den of Nerds, and holy cow, we got to do some talking. You and me. We got to do some talking here. There's some crazy stuff going on the interwebs, some rumors, leaks, reports, things of that nature. Crazy stuff when it comes to Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, the MCU. Bob Iger? Is he hating? I don't know, man. We're going to get into all that in just a second here. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not. There's some crazy stuff that we got to go into here. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, everybody? How are we doing? I see you coming into the chat. Welcome to another Fan Chat Live. Guys, today, here's the thing. I got some notes, okay? I got some notes. So I'm going to get through my notes before we break into the Q&A because I've got some stuff that I want to talk about. By the way, too, I just want to say, is the audio a little bit too loud? You guys let me know. How's the audio? Here's what I want to say, too. I'm going to be hanging out. I'm hanging out tonight, man. We are hanging out. And what I mean is we're going to do this live chat. I'll probably go for like 40 minutes to an hour here. This will come up as a video later, Dylan, so you can watch this later. But then I'm going right into a Twitch stream. So I'm going from here right into a Twitch stream, and I'm either going to be streaming Magic the Gathering or I'm going to be streaming some Apex Legends. So we can talk about that maybe later on in this live chat here. But if you guys want me to play Magic, I'll play some Magic. If you guys want me to play some Apex Legends, I'll play some Apex Legends. So let's get into the juiciness. We got a lot of notes on paper. What is this, 2010? Yeah, well, you know what's funny? I actually write most of the scripts for the shows, for the Nerdy News Rundown and stuff like that, on paper. So, did I see War Stew's video earlier? I don't think I did. I don't know if I did. Remind me of that. But anyways, let me get to my notes here. Let's try to act like we run a show. Let's try to act like we have a YouTube channel here. So, I don't know if you guys have heard about this or not, but there are basically leaks and rumors around there that Captain Marvel is getting a lot of hate from not only other members of the Avengers cast, but from Bob Iger himself. Okay, so the story out there that's being perpetuated online is that, yeah, Bob Iger not super keen on Captain Marvel. Kevin Feige is like, no, Brie Larson is my girl, and so there's beef in that way, okay? You know, you'll also remember that on the show last week, I covered a story. I covered a story that talked about a leak on Reddit. Okay, now, on this leak on Reddit, there was this report that there were multiple cuts of Avengers Endgame, and that Marvel Studios, there was some contention within Marvel Studios. They were sort of prepared for maybe Captain Marvel to not do as well, and for audiences to not be as into Brie Larson as they are some of these other characters, okay? And the thought, and then according to this leak, they have these different cuts, okay? Joshua Trimble, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Just says, I love your channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Okay, now here's the thing. So when I covered that, people were like, whoa, Josh, what are you doing covering that? Why would you cover that? This isn't like you, blah, blah, blah. And I will say this. Maybe I didn't explain exactly why I thought that leak was so important to cover, but I want to explain it now, and I think it's going to tie into what we're talking about here. At the end of the day, when people come forth to leak, especially on Reddit, there is a system in place there to try to authenticate things. And as I tried to explain in that video, it is difficult for the admins on Reddit and whatnot to authenticate certain claims, right? They do the best that they can, but it's really hard to authenticate certain things, right? The reason this leak is so important, or the reason that leak, in my opinion, is so important, is because it's so detailed that it implies that if a certain part of it is correct, we will have to look at other parts that were in that leak with a little bit more of an open mind. Okay? So what that means is this stuff, you could technically trace back to that Reddit leak that there's contention inside Marvel about the Captain Marvel character. As far as I'm concerned, I had never heard anything like that. I had never heard anything that people within Marvel Studios were having any sort of a problem with Captain Marvel. So to me, that leak was important to talk about because that is so far the source of it. Now, obviously a lot of people, including myself, were like, okay, so is this just opportunistic? Is that leak just opportunistic? Meaning the idea of putting in the very beginning of your leak on Reddit this story about contention at Marvel Studios about the Captain Marvel character and that maybe there won't be a future with the Captain Marvel character, that obviously will give you some buzz, especially considering the current state of the internet when it comes to Captain Marvel. And so the obvious question is this Reddit leak person just being opportunistic? And in all likelihood, yeah, they probably are. But the leak's important because when we see Endgame, if some of the stuff that this person said was correct is true, then, maybe we'll go back and look at that leak. But what if that leak is 1,000,000% correct? What if that leak is like word for word? In that case, we got to go back and be like, holy crap, there's some contention in Marvel Studios when it comes to the Captain Marvel character. Okay? So that's why it's important. Okay? And similarly, with this story, because you might say, well, why are you covering this? Why are you giving credence to this rumor? You know what I mean? It's obviously in the same vein. It's obviously, created by someone that's being opportunistic, and that might be true. But for the same reason, I have to cover it here, because we need to be able to trace it back. And on the other side of that, too, just being real, you guys would really, really prefer me to be covering this. You know what I mean? And I say that, and I'm not trying to be egotistical when I say that. I mean, if you value, like, actual information and a non-biased opinion, which I hope is at least part of reason why you're coming to this channel, then trust me, you would much rather hear it from me than some of these other websites or some of these other YouTubers or whatever. Trust me when I say that. Okay? And so let's talk about the leak that happened today. Yo, what's up, Jesse? What's going on? Okay. So this all started earlier in the morning. Okay, this all started earlier in the morning. I saw it pop up on a couple of different websites, and we're going to get into what websites as well. Will this be a video afterwards? I might touch on this a little bit, but this whole live stream will go back on YouTube. This whole live stream will go back. And by the way, I'm going to just go through my points here, and then we're going to go right into Q&A. So I'll be answering a lot of questions here in just a second. But, okay. So this comes from Film Glob. Okay, Film Glob, we could look him up. He's a YouTube channel. Does a lot of film commentary stuff. I think he's got like around 13,000 subscribers or something like this. So if you watch the video that is on... oh, that's the leak. Okay, so is that the first leak? Yeah. Pretty sure. Okay, that's the first leak that Ryan put in there. See you, Angel. Thanks for hanging. Okay, so this video comes out on Film Glob. The guy says that he knows someone that works at Marvel Studios and basically proceeds to explain that Bob Iger is not happy with what's going on with Brie Larson, that there are certain members of the Avengers that are unhappy with what's going on with Brie Larson. As particularly, the video mentions Scarlet Witch and Miss Olsen, right? And the idea here is that this person or this character feels slighted because all of a sudden Captain Marvel's getting all Marvel's love, you know what I mean? And Scarlet Witch is A, more powerful, B, probably more interesting, and C, has been around longer. And certain characters are just being shoved to the side to make way for Captain Marvel, okay? And so that's the report. Okay, that's the report that's out there from Film Glob. And if you want to, you can go check out the video. I was actually considering watching the video with you guys and sort of giving you my play-by-play, sort of like my take on it. And maybe we'll do that someday, but I'm kind of not feeling that today because I don't want to throw shade at Film Glob or whatever. But here's the thing, guys. When you look at this rumor, and when you look at the websites that are covering it, and I'm going to pull it up right now, and I'll show you. In fact, we can do this together. Type in, what did I have it here at? what did I search for? Because I'm on the Cosmic Book News right here. Okay. Type in to Google search right now if you want to play along. Captain Marvel Avengers rumor. All right. And then go to news or go down to the news tab on your Google search. Okay. Now, anything that has to do with the exact thing that I'm talking about that comes from Film Club, let's talk about the sites that are doing it. It's Cosmic Book News. It's We Got This Covered. And that is the only ones that are popping up for me right now. There's some other stuff from Polygon. There's some other stuff from Screen Rant, totally unrelated to the rumor I'm talking about. And my point is this. When you look at the types of websites that are covering this, it should become pretty obvious what the coverage out there, the media sort of thinks of the validity of this video and of this rumor. Okay? Aaron, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to be answering that in just a section. It's not even a question, so I'll just say it. It says, I'm biased, but I still wish they did an Adam Warlock movie instead of Captain Marvel. Still super excited and think she's going to be a great fit. Thank you for the statements. I agree. I think she's going to be a good fit. Adam Warlock would be cool. Adam Warlock would be pretty dope. There's a ton of other movies I'd want them to do, though, to be honest with you. But thank you, Aaron. Now, here's the thing, guys. I wanted to be totally fair with this because here's the thing. The worst case scenario here, like the worst possible situation that I can think of, and what I think a lot of people would jump to this conclusion, is that this guy that runs Film Glob or whatever is just pulling this out of the air, right? Completely just pulling this out of the air. Once again, being opportunistic and trying to capitalize on the situation that's out there, okay? That would be worst case scenario. I really don't think that that's what's going on. What I think is going on is a little bit different, okay? Now, the craziest thing, the conspiratorial thing, the thing that you could think of if you wanted to say this guy was 100% right, is that it's totally true that Bob Iger is super pissed about Brie Larson and the whole situation and everything that's going down, that the Avengers are pretty upset because Brie Larson's being pushed into the limelight, and all of these other people are sort of being pushed aside, right? So that is the crazy, crazy situation. Now, let's just consider for a second if that were true. If that were true, then yeah, Disney would not want that story out there. Now, the way a lot of this works, especially with media outlets like Polygon or like Screen Rant or like Collider or like any of these people, they will hear things, rumblings, and then they reach out to the studio. They reach out to these people and ask for a comment on this, okay? And sometimes people will say, like I've heard people talk about this in Hollywood, where they'll be like, they'll hear something. Like, let's just say it's me, okay? And I hear, oh my God, they're doing a flashback in episode 9. Young Luke Skywalker is going to be played by this guy. This is crazy. So I call someone at Lucasfilm. I say, "Hey, I'm Josh from the Den of Nerds. Hey, I heard this rumor, and I wanna run with it. I want to report it. I just wanted to know if you could confirm or deny that there's gonna be a flashback in episode 9, and that young Luke Skywalker is gonna be blah blah blah." Now, I've heard stories in that exact situation where the person at Disney will be like, "No, it's 100% not true," and then an hour later, it gets confirmed by a different outlet because they super play that game. Right? It's all about whose back do I want to scratch and all that. So when people say the shill media and they get all oh, it's just the shill media, some of that's true. I mean, the verbiage and that whole thing is whack, but some of it's true in a sense, because if this were true, there's no way Disney would want it to be out there. And any company that knew their relationship with Disney would be permanently damaged by talking about this would not take that chance. They would not run it. So you see, this is why people get so weary of the mainstream media and what the narratives that they push, right? Because it's so obvious that if this were true, oh my God, nobody would touch it. Nobody would touch this story, right? And so that's why it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to sort of parse what exactly is going on here. Is this someone just being opportunistic? Is this whole narrative because of people not liking Captain Marvel? You know what I mean? Is it all this idea? Or is there some truth to it? Like, is there some truth to what is going on? Okay? And the last couple of things I want to talk about, and then we'll get straight into Q&A. Straight into Q&A, because I'm really curious about what you guys are thinking. But, number one, do I believe that Bob Iger is upset at Brie Larson? I would say yes, okay? Not in the sense of, like, Bob Iger is, fuming in his office, thinking about Brie Larson and all this stuff. But I'm damn sure that the way the whole controversy came across his desk was in a very familiar and very irritating way. And what I mean is Disney as a company has dealt with so much political backlash and sort of getting caught with their foot in their mouth. I mean, and I'm not even talking about Star Wars. I'm talking about ESPN mostly. You know what I mean? Like what Bob Iger had to Bob Iger has literally, I tell you what, the current political state in America, I bet you there's nobody in America that's more frustrated with the political atmosphere right now than Bob Iger. Because it is seeped in to everything that company touches. And he has had to deal with so much crap because of it. So much crap. Because of it. So, at the end of the day, do I think it's a stretch to assume that Bob Iger is frustrated with Brie Larson and the way she has conducted herself online? No, I don't think that's a stretch at all. It's probably true. Okay? Number two, are cast members of the Avengers salty or feeling some kind of way because Marvel is pushing Brie Larson to the front and sort of sidelining them? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think? I mean, I don't like to generalize. I don't like to stereotype. But what do you think of when you think of Hollywood actors? Maybe a little narcissism. Maybe a, sense of crazy self-worth. Maybe a little selfish. Are these the kind of people that might be upset when an actress comes out of nowhere, 22 films into a franchise, signs a 7 movie deal, and is sort of pushed to the forefront of everything? I mean, come on. I don't think that's that unfair of a thing to say. But these are not the same. But this is not the same thing as like the way this report came in. Do you know what I mean? And so ultimately, where I fall on this is that I don't think this report is very true at all. But that doesn't mean that the things within it are false. You know what I mean? Last thing I want to say. The last thing I want to say before we get into some Q&A. Whoo! Spicy in the chat. I see it. I see some spice in the chat. I can't wait to get into it with you guys. Last thing I want to say. Marvel is pushing Captain Marvel, not, in my opinion, not because of some of the things that you guys think they're pushing Captain Marvel for. They're pushing Captain Marvel because it's their frickin' company name. It's their frickin' company name in there. Okay? And I also think that the idea of a strong female character is appealing to Marvel, but not in like a... Like it's hard to explain. Like it's probably a feminist movie. I feel like the movie it has feminist tones, and I feel like the movie does sort of cater more to a female audience. But there's obviously a lot to love in there for any movie-going person. But I think it's kind of businessy. It's sort of business-minded, where the idea is, okay, this is Captain Marvel. It's literally our name. This is such a good character for us to push. It just feels on brand, right? And then also, of course, going after sort of a younger, more diverse audience. A lot of this stuff is numbers. So those are just kind of my thoughts on it and where I am at with it. And I'm very interested. And now we're going to go into straight up Q&A. So please drop your questions in. Drop your questions in the chat. I'll get to as many questions as I can. If you want to guarantee your question gets asked, drop a super chat. It supports the channel. It'll pin your thing so I don't have to go through the chat. And we'll just go from there. All right. Grace Randolph said she saw... Oh, no. I missed it. Here come the questions. I wish I could... Grace Randolph said she saw it as a feminist movie. Yes. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you can necessarily deny, and nor should you want to deny that. I guess what it comes down to is, is that enough to turn you off enough to not go? Is that a draw for you? You know what I mean? Is it something that you just acknowledge? Because to me, I'll be completely honest. To me, I'm like, yeah, no, it's their first female totally starred movie. I would assume it has feminist tones. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be shocked by that. I'm in it for the scroll, baby. The scroll and the Cree. Did anyone watch the red carpet last night? Maverick asks. I did not. I'm interested if anyone else did. Hello there. Toxic fandom is getting out of hand. Wake me when I get there, huh? Is saying. Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, toxic fandom's sort of always been around. I don't know if it's really that much worse or if we're just focusing on it more. Wayne White in the building. Tracy Boyal says it's not feminist that draws me in. It's a good story and good characters. For sure. For sure. And you know what else, too? This kind of will send me on a little thing. I've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that, Carol Danvers is not really that interesting of a comic book character. And that's true. But neither was Iron Man. Honestly. Iron Man was not that interesting of a character. A lot of these characters, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I will argue that the Bendis run in the early 2000s and the 2010s was a very good run and sort of brought the Guardians sort of back into prominence. But, the old Guardians, those characters, they're very obscure and they were not great characters. So Marvel sort of does that a lot, where they'll take characters that are not that great in the comics, which I'm not arguing with you. Carol Danvers, not interesting in the comics, but they bring her into the MCU and we assume make her much more interesting. Iron Man was so boring before RDJ took him over. Absolutely. But people knew about Iron Man. Dude, people know about Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel, maybe a little bit more, but yeah. McRib Prime. I saw what you said there. Couldn't read it, though. The chat's going pretty hot. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Producer Al Schuler in the building, everybody. Captain America First Avenger and Iron Man 1 aren't the best MCU movies, but they're still good movies like Captain Marvel. Yeah, and you know what's funny, Mr. J? I heard that from a lot of different people, that it sort of feels like this is a Phase 1 movie. This is sort of a Phase 1 MCU movie. So I've heard that a lot. I'm totally okay with it. Third Floor Organics. Josh, what's your opinion on the rumor that Endgame has 2 different cuts depending on how Captain Marvel does the sides of the way they release? Okay, Third Floor Organics. Very interesting question. Here's what I think of that. All movies that do test screenings change things. Well, I shouldn't say all movies, but I would say literally 90% of them. The reason you do a test screening is to see what part of your film is working and what part of your film is not working. What's connecting to the audience, what's not connecting to the audience. And then you go back into the editing bay and you literally recut the movie. So, do I think that... Here's the thing. Do I think there could be multiple cuts of this film that have been in front of the editors that have had maybe a little more or a little less of Captain Marvel? Absolutely yes. 100%. Do I think that translates to Marvel wanting to see how Captain Marvel does, and then they're just waiting to pull the plug? Pull the lever, pull the right lever, the anti-Brie cut. That's what we're going to give them. No, that's not it. But once again, there's a little truth there. Ooh, Fear Itself was a great storyline. Wayne Wade, I like that storyline a lot. Now, why does Disney say these things to begin with? No good feedback, mostly. Also, they have Gamora, Natasha, Scarlet Witch, Nebula, Agent Carter, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, they do. I like the 90s X-Men cartoon version of Miss Marvel. Yeah, she's okay there. The butt doubles. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't know if that butt double stuff's real. I really don't. What will piss off fans the most? If Captain Marvel lands that last blow, it will alienate a certain section of fans who expect a better ending in terms of teamwork. Yeah, I mean, unless all the original Avengers decide that that's the aspect of the plan that she should be a part of, right? Oh, hell yeah. Mr. J. Interesting little side note, too, Mr. J. I found this kind of interesting. Maybe you will, too. Because you're talking about Attila, or Alita, rather, Battle Angel. So a lot of these people out there are pushing this narrative of, like, go see Alita rather than Captain Marvel. And I saw a lot of these channels doing videos today about the reviews, because on Metacritic, the reviews for Captain Marvel are not as good as they are on Rotten Tomatoes. I think on Metacritic, it's like a 66. But Attila is like a 50. So it's like, I don't know, man. These people just cherry pick, you know what I mean? And they just try to fit their stuff into a narrative, and it's kind of funny actually, because it's like they're pooping. They're like, look at the reviews for Captain Marvel. This movie's gonna suck. Go see Alita instead. That's literally a 50% on Metacritic. I mean, I've heard Alita's cool, but I mean, come on. Do you think they'll recast Brie Larson if the movie flops? No. But I really hope. Okay, so if the movie flops, look, here's the thing. We all only have like our perspective. Like numbers are really what matter. Numbers are really what talk, right? And so I'm one of these guys, and I've always said this. Like when it comes to Star Wars, and I do a lot of videos about Star Wars and the Last Jedi controversy and all that. I've always said that like I give my opinion of this stuff, and I'm like, look, I'm not bothered by it. But I consider myself sort of like a member of the fan proletariat, if you will. And so if the majority of the fan base doesn't want a thing, then I'm like, all right. Like, if I were you, company, I'd probably do what all these guys want. You know what I mean? And I'd be okay with it. As a fan, I feel like it's better. Like, if the fan base is happier, if we're happier together, I'm good. Like, I don't need my personal wishes given to me in fiction all the time. Fiction should not be that way anyways. And you shouldn't love everything. And you're just like a droll, boring person. Do you think they'll put more Captain Marvel in Endgame if the movie does very well? Maybe. I think it's more important how the character is received by audiences. Like, ultimately, what the Russo brothers and what the editor should be looking at with regards to how much Brie Larson is in the film is, A, how much do they need in the film? Because I think you use her as little as possible, because ultimately this should be about the main Avengers. And number two, how well is this character connecting with audiences? Do the audiences want more of her? Because if so, give them more of her. Do audiences want less of her and they feel like she's sort of out of place? Then give them less. You know what I mean? Dude, this movie's going to do great, in my opinion. Good point, but if the fans' desires are what drive the plot of all these movies, then it becomes a D&D game where the DM is blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's a slippery slope, right? You can't just do fan service. But I think when you're running a major franchise that has a massive amount of appeals, if you don't do some fan service, you're missing the whole point of why you're creating this content. So, yeah, totally. You can't just let, like, I guess the example would be like the prisoners run the prison or whatever, right? The inmates run the prison is the whole idea. And ultimately, yeah, you let the storytellers tell the story. But if you're not giving them some fan service, you're seriously out of touch with why you're doing it. Captain Marvel gets her powers from the Space Stone? Yeah, I think so, actually. I do think she will. Oh, jeez. Pardon me while I take a big chug of water there. Will Thor get Mjolnir back in Endgame? I've heard. So the OG plot leak states that Mjolnir will come back, but it's actually going to be Cap that wields Mjolnir and not Thor. My big surprise? I can't talk about that. People just need to give Captain Marvel a chance and not get so butthurt about one person's opinion on politics. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I agree with that. John Stark. Like I'm like, but see, like to me, like I ultimately like put it back on the person. Like I'm almost. This is the way I see it, because the way you worded that is kind of interesting. I am more like you're doing yourself a disservice if you're gonna let her words stop you from seeing what I think is gonna be a dope movie. You know what I mean? What otherwise could just be a fun experience at the cinema. Instead of saying like, "Oh, you are just just give the movie a chance. You and your view on politics is not letting you go see the movie." It's more like, "No, you're just hurting yourself." Is, in my opinion, is the way that works. G14. A cough button for my sniffing? What's a cough button? And do I sniff a lot? Maybe this microphone just smells really nice. You don't know. And I mean, like, I kind of get people being like all worried about the this culture war thing. Like, you have to understand, like, when people feel threatened, and this is true of all people, when people feel threatened, they don't respond in the most rational way. And that's biology. That's literally saved us as a species many, many times. That plays out on the micro a lot. You know what I mean? Like in all these little ways that we interact. You know what I mean? Is there a Mrs. Josh? Not currently. Not currently. Couple applications being processed. But no decisions have been made. Oh, man. That microphone smells great. What do I think the movies are going to be in Phase 4? Interesting question. I think they're going to be pretty unique. You know what I hope? I hope that they're all like Thor Ragnarok, but not like in the way that Thor Ragnarok was so different. Like they shouldn't all be carbon copies of Thor Ragnarok, but the way that Thor Ragnarok totally did its own thing, had its own vibes and everything, and built upon and utilized the what the MCU had done and wasn't sort of handcuffed by it. That's what I want to see. Mr. Spiteful, I'm glad to hear that, man. I really am. Yay on the mic. That's hilarious. Could you recap the leak? I assume you meant real quick. Which leak? The Reddit leak or what Film Glob talked about with the rumors for Captain Marvel and all that? What's my favorite scene in Ragnarok? Ooh, that's tough. I mean, the Hulk Thor stuff is so good. So good. Even the dialogue. You know what I mean? But I'm a sucker for, like, I had one of those moments when I was watching Thor Ragnarok in theaters, and he's flying away from the dragon as the title's, like, going up. That was a special moment. That was so rock and roll 80s Dungeons and Dragons. That was dope. So maybe that. John Stark asked, did I like the new trailer today, or his new trailer? The Great War is going to be insane. Yeah, if you're referring to the Game of Thrones trailer, yeah, that was lit, dude. And honestly, if I wasn't so far behind on other work, I would have hopped right on there and did a video about it, or even did a live stream about it. Fall of Xandar and Captain Marvel in Endgame. Mavic Pilgrim coming in hot with the super chat, $2.99. Thank you very much, my friend. Fall of Xandar and Captain Marvel in Endgame. So a lot of speculation and rumors about that. It would be cool to see the Fall of Xandar. It's kind of crazy that we didn't see it at all. But I just don't know, man. They don't have a lot of time. Like, that's why this movie to me is, like, so weird, like, speculating about it. Because they do not have a lot of time to get to the things that I think they need to get to and to do the things I think they need to do in this plot. So Would love to see it. Would love Captain Marvel maybe to show up there. You know what I mean? We in that one plot leak, it implies that will happen in the film, and that she's connections to the Nova Force and all this other stuff. It would be very cool. I'm just not sure about it at this point. Nathan but Game coming in hot with the $2 super chat. No question, though. And I think I've shouted you out before. I think you got a nerd card question correct, and I love that name. Nathan but Game. It's hilarious. Endgame is 3 hours plus, right? Laugh out loud, Eric Newton. There was an interview about that, actually. Collider asked Feige about that pretty explicitly and published an interview today about it. Feige's pretty coy about it. It's going to be pretty long. It'll be pretty close to 3 hours. Anything they cut from it is like they're very good at everything in the movie matters, and it needs to happen. And the one thing I really like about the Russo brothers is their use of quiet moments and empty space in the film. They just allow those moments. Like, the Russo brothers are some of the only directors that I know that are like, okay, we've got like 6 seconds here of Cap pensively looking. Man, we've got this action scene. You know what I mean? Let's cut the 6 seconds down to 2, and we get this whole explosion. They're the directors that are like, no, this pensive moment is more interesting and more important to the plot. So yeah. By the way, guys, just so you know, if you're coming in, I am going to go right into a Twitch stream after this. Either going to be playing some Apex Legends or some MTG Arena. So if you want to come hang out, I'll link it. I'll literally start streaming before I leave this one. I'll start the Twitch stream. And also let me know if you do want to come hang out on Twitch, what game do you want me to play? Do you want to play some Apex? Do you want to play some Magic? What are you thinking? Can I comment on the article mentioning Guardians of the Galaxy members as Star Force? What? It's implied that it's Drax, but since Gunn incident, Batista doesn't associate with Marvel Disney anymore. That's not exactly true. As far as Batista, they definitely don't. They're not on the best of terms, but he's under contract and stuff. So, but I haven't even heard about that article. Yep, Stephanie S. says, I'll do my peeing before the movie. For sure. That is going to be the risky part, though, right? Haven't gone into Apex yet. I have it, but haven't played it yet. Al, it is the best, man. It is the best. I love that game. If they are going to time travel through time, try to get some stones. The best Infinity Stone to grab first is the Space Stone, so Thanos can't teleport wherever he wants. Yeah, that's very true. I actually had this crazy theory. That Loki and Doctor Strange were sort of working together. Wish I had that video. I would totally link it. But that they were working together and that they had both given stones to Thanos outside of time. And then the stones would just disappear. And so the space and the time zone. And yes, you're right. The reason I was so into this theory is because the space and the time stone are like the most restrictive if you take this away as far as his movement and how he can attack their plans. So, yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yova says, let's play some Apex. Yo, I am down to play some Apex. If they kill Tony or retire him, do you see that kid from Iron Man 3 taking up the suit? I really don't think so. I don't think you can replace Tony Stark. And I don't think they should. I mean, I think it's okay if he goes. But I don't think you need another Iron Man or anything like that. Just, maybe have some Iron Legion stuff go on. Maybe have Tony be an AI. Sort of still help out fighting and doing different things. But no. You can't replace Tony Stark, man. ETA before they approach an MCU Silver Surfer movie? Well, I mean, the Silver Surfer can come into a movie. But I don't know if they'll do a Silver Surfer movie. I almost hope they do Silver Surfer outside of the Fantastic Four. Like, why not use him in some other franchise, even have him be in like an X-Men movie or something. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Like, that's the thing. I really hope they just open it up after these phases. Just open it up. You got everything back. Open it up, man. I think like there's so much crazy stuff. They could do a version of the Exiles and have Silver Surfer be on the Exiles. You know what I mean? And then they could just be like, yeah. We're going through all these different parallel times and dimensions. We're just recruiting awesome heroes. Holy crap, this Silver Surfer guy's great. Let's recruit him and let's go. Norin Rad says he's ready. That's hilarious. Josh, which fight are you looking forward to the most? Hulk versus Wolverine or Hulk versus Thing? Depends on who the new Wolverine is, I guess. But, I mean, we all want to see that Wolverine fight. I think that would be really cool. But the Thing would be great, too. There's plenty of strong people for the Hulk to still fight. I think it would be really cool, actually, if we got some of these more stronger characters. Like, what if Hulk versus Juggernaut? Like more like the Juggernaut we got in Deadpool 2. That kind of a Juggernaut. I'd love to see like that kind of a Juggernaut versus the Hulk. That would be dope. Why hasn't the Fox deal been finalized yet? I got no idea. Tracy, see ya. Bye-bye. Who do I think is going to have the most screen time in Endgame? Cap? Question mark? Cap or Tony? Or both? Why wouldn't Thanos just use the time stone to look into the future at possible threats? Probably hubris. Maybe because Doctor Strange prevented him from doing it. Wouldn't that be kind of crazy? Oh, really, Maverick? I didn't know about that. That's cool. Tom Hardy is Venom, and I don't think he's done. I mean, Venom made a lot of money. We're going to be Tom Hardy is Venom for a while now. Be sure to hit that like button. If you guys could do me a big favor and hit that like button, that would be dope. Mitchell, what's up? You never get to watch these live streams? Yeah, this one is at a different time than I usually do them for sure. So it's cool. It's cool that you're here. We're about finished up, though. I'm probably only going to go about 10 more minutes. But lucky for you, I'm going right into a Twitch stream. I think we're going to play some Apex Legends. I'm going to hang out, guys. It's going to be real fun. Hey, where them likes at? Are we not just killing ourselves and others by all the news about Captain Marvel and Endgame? Because let's be real, we want to enjoy, but we can't enjoy it because of the news. Don't believe the news at all. Here's what I'll say, Kate. If the news prevents you from being able to enjoy this stuff, then yeah, check out from the news, for sure. Ultimately, as a fan, you should be worried about your enjoyment of something. And it really mostly matters if the thing connects for you and if you like it. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore because I do this. Like. No, I don't think I don't know if you're implying this or not, but I'm very excited for Captain Marvel. I don't know if I've said that enough. I'm very excited for it. I'm actually pretty pumped. I think it's going to be very cool. Yeah. You're tuning into Helpfulness with Josh. I mean, it's a simple platitudes, but I mean, yeah, you should do it. Al Schuler coming in hot with the super chat. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. Indeed. Indeed, my friend. It's entertainment. But you know what? To be fair, I think part of the reason that some of this stuff gets so much attention these days is that ultimately it's entertaining to have these conversations. It's entertaining to speculate about these things, right? So, like, there's almost this whole new wave of entertainment because ultimately, think about this. This is a very interesting question. I often think about this. How much time have you spent entertaining yourself with content about Captain Marvel, or let's say Endgame, compared to how much time you will actually spend being entertained by the movie. The truth is, you will spend way more time being entertained by people sort of talking about the movie, or let's call it extracurricular movie stuff. You actually spend more time doing that, and I would argue are maybe even more entertained by that than you are the actual entertainment. Weird, right? Super weird. Bo Does Games is like, nope. I don't believe you, Josh. Screw you. Oh my God. Any thoughts on Mark Hamill interview today and the episode 8 conversation? Yeah, I've got a couple thoughts about it. Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts about it. And since you asked, I shall talk about my thoughts about it. I think Mark is just being honest, man. Like, Mark is just being honest, and I think that he's always tried to just be honest. And I think that at the end of the day, a lot of people hold up his thoughts or opinions about things, maybe in a light that's a little bit exaggerated. But I will say this: I think that it's pretty weird, ultimately. And I've talked to so many different people about this, so many different fans, people in the industry, blah blah blah. The reality is, man, I can't believe that Lucasfilm did not take into more consideration what Mark Hamill was saying about Star Wars when they were doing that movie and doing all the movies. Because ultimately, he even talks about this in the behind the scenes for The Last Jedi, where he was like, they went bamboozled me. Like, I was supposed to be in all the movies. I didn't want cameos. I didn't want just a run of the trilogy. I wanted to be in these movies. And they signed that contract and then didn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, crazy. And I also think that a lot of the truth of the matter is that they should have respected Mark's opinion about these things a little bit more. Nobody knows Luke Skywalker more than Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was fighting for the Luke Skywalker character and fighting for the brand of Star Wars when the Star Wars brand was going down after the prequels and in the interim, but when the prequels were done, he was going to all sorts of conventions, always standing up for the brand, always doing such good stuff, man. Such good stuff for the community. I just find it weird, and I don't like the idea of them not at least taking into consideration what he had to say about the franchise a little bit more. And that's coming from someone that liked The Last Jedi. I like The Last Jedi. I think it's a good movie. But still a little frustrating. Still a little more frustrating, hearing more of this stuff come from him. And look, I'm not one of these people who's like, Mark should shut his mouth. No, definitely not. It's 15 months after The Last Jedi. The guy probably thinks he can talk about this, and it's not going to be that big of a deal. So, those are my thoughts. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Do you think the next Endgame trailer is going to show the white quantum suits? Oh, man, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be super cool? Here, hang on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Woo! Sorry about that. Norrin Rad says fart break. And I say, how dare you, sir? And I say, how dare you, sir? Well, Trev, we've been talking about these crazy rumors, man, when it comes to the Captain Marvel thing. I mean, honestly, I would recommend watching the replay on that. We're sort of in the Q&A, though, so technically I can talk to you about this, and it's Q&A. But basically, man, there was a video that came out today. Is that it right there, Yova? I think it is. By Film Glob. No, that's not it. But that's cool. I like that. But yeah, so there was this report on Film Glob basically talking about how there's all this contention within Marvel Studios. Yeah, and that people want her sort of out. And so we talked about that and the validity of it. And I mean, I think the truth is that the rumor itself was started by people. Yo, wait a minute. What is going on here? Is Justin streaming right now? Oh my God, this is weird. I thought I was supposed to be streaming right now. Oh boy, I guess we aren't doing that. That's a little awkward. Ew, sorry guys. Well, I'll go a little bit more. I'm super confused. I'm so confused right now because I was supposed to be streaming. But I see that Justin, who is my friend and runs the Den of Nerds Gaming, is streaming. And I might have screwed up because yeah, he's doing his thing over there. I tell you what, we'll just go a little bit longer here then. We'll go like 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm going to get on and do some gaming myself here. Okay, F-Bomb says, the white suits in the next trailer would be cool, Josh, but they might only show a little bit of footage to build more hype for the movie. Usually, yeah. Or they just blow like our minds away with the next trailer, right? Like they could do a thing where they just blow our effing minds, give us like that crazy stuff right before the movie, and yet still not show us too much. I saw someone ask me who's my favorite female character in the MCU. I mean, it's hard not to pick Natasha. Do you know what I mean? Natasha's great. It's really hard not to pick Black Widow, and I'm actually pretty excited for the Black Widow movie. And I tell you what, I like Okoye. I think Okoye is really cool. And also T'Challa's sister, Shuri. I think Shuri's a cool character. I like Shuri a lot. But they're a little bit too fresh for me, to be honest with you. Like, Natalie's been in the game for a long time, and we've watched a lot of stuff with her. So it's super hard for me not to pick Black Widow. She's awesome. They can piss off fanboys and make the trailer only feature Captain Marvel's role in the movie. That'd be like the ultimate troll. You know what I mean? The ultimate troll. That'd be really funny. Oh yeah. I do wish companies. I wish companies would be more like aware of that kind of stuff, like more memey with their stuff. You know what I mean? That'd be really cool. Yeah. That's what I'm. Budapest? Nah, dude. Budapest is gonna be something with her and Hawkeye. Yo, do you guys want to do something kind of cool though? Do you guys want to raid Justin, who's streaming FGO right now? If Brie kept quiet, would the rumors still exist? Ryan Epps, thank you for the super chat, my friend. $1.99. If Brie kept quiet, would the rumors still exist? That's a good question, man. I mean, look, that's kind of that. You know what that question is? You're literally asking me if I think the rumor's right, or if I think the rumor's true. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. I don't know, bro. But here's what I do know. I'm about to link the Den of Nerds Twitch right now, and we can watch Justin, who's playing this anime game. If you guys want to raid the Twitch, we can like surprise Justin and go in there and just tell him love from the main channel or something like that. So that is that's the link right there if you guys want to go to the Twitch chat right now. Everybody go to the Twitch, go to the chat, and just be like, what's up, Justin? Josh sent us. And like if we can get like 50, 60, like 100 people in there, oh my God, that would be dope. Just make them go crazy. Raid, 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 raid. Yeah, get in there. Get in there. I'll link it again. Here, everybody go to that link. Go to the Twitch. Tell them Josh sent us. Josh sent us, and we are taking over your stream. We're taking over the stream because Josh wanted to stream, and you're streaming, and we're all really upset about it. Let's go. Let's raid him. I wonder if the green flashlight will come in from the ship. The Dr. Stark right in front of crashes on Titan has anything to do with that. Anybody in there? Anybody in the chat on the Twitch? I can see it too. I can try to reply. I can reply, I think, from the Den of Nerds if you guys get in there. Your point was it was the first song and it's the second. What's going on right now? Are you guys arguing about music right now? Josh sent us. We're taking over. Love it. Oh, I love it. Scroll up, Josh. Sorry. No, I'm still here. I got both open. Ah, nice. Bald Eagle. I see you, Wayne. Yeah, I know it's a little weird. I know. But, oh, man, it'd be so cool if people could pop in there. We wanted Iron Man, Captain America, the X-Men, and I honestly feel we will never get the original Avengers with all the main characters together. I think it's selfish. Do you? It's not exactly selfish. Like, there's selfish stuff that happened in that whole thing, but it's just business, man. Like, it's a lot of business stuff that went on. You know what I mean? How many people we got in here? 21. Nice. Yeah. We got him. Uh-oh. He's calling me out. He's calling me out right now. He's calling me out because I haven't logged into FGO. So this is the game, guys. If you're in both chats right now, which is probably weird as hell, but if you're in both chats right now, this is FGO. This is the game that Justin does like on the gaming channel quite a bit. So yeah. That's the game that he covers a lot, and yeah, thanks for going in there, everybody that went in there. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I was talking about Dark Avengers like 4 or 5 months ago, for sure. And the thing is, there's been more talk about that too. There's been more talk about that kind of stuff happening. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for doing that. No, Randy, I have not seen it. Is the Avengers Tower bought by Norman or Reed? Either or would be great for me. I'm telling you, man. I would really prefer it to be Norman, to be honest with you. Like, I really hope it really depends on what is going on with the Spider-Man character. What's going on with Sony and Marvel? I think we won't know until after the Spider-Man Far From Home, right? So we gotta figure out what's going on with Spider-Man Far From Home, and then we will know what's probably going to be happening after this. If they can allow Sony to just keep it, then I think Marvel could like take their own version of it and do like MCU version. So I hope, man. I mean, like ultimately, I really, really do hope that that's going to be the case because I love the Norman Osborn character. I love the whole arc that he's on. I love all that. You know what I mean? So that would be really cool. So that's kind of my answer on that. People are spoiled. You should be happy there is even a Captain Marvel movie at all. Before the MCU, there was literally five decent comic book movies. Or yeah, actually, yeah, yeah. Justin's right about that. Oh no, he's right, dude. Trust me. I'll just say this: if you're in both chats right now, anytime Justin says I told Josh that in a meeting, he's right. I forgot. Ooh, Randy got a weird question about Magneto in the MCU. Yo, can you hit me up with some that Magneto stuff? Because oh man, sorry, a little distracted, kind of chatting with Justin and them over there. But I tell you what, man, Magneto in the MCU. I'm really hoping for it. Did you guys ever watch the? Did you guys ever watch, or rather, read the comic where there's like Magneto's in the white armor, and then like even in New X-Men when he's like running, what's the Genosius or whatever. Have you guys seen those comics? Man, I really want that stuff to be in the MCU. Like Magneto, Doctor Doom. There's so many cool characters that I want to see the MCU version of. Ooh, trivia minute. What was Magneto's full name in the comics? I got no idea. Josh, who is on that Twitch? That is Justin. That is Justin. He runs the Den of Nerds Gaming. He is my partner in business. Basically, he runs our gaming division. So yeah, that's my main man, Justin. Man, yeah, and he is playing FGO, which is like he's a pretty decent following with it. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Totally random, but it's cool that you guys got to get over there and meet Justin. It's cool because Justin used to do a lot more stuff. In fact, if you watch the trailer, if you watch the game, the Den of Nerds trailer, that's still on the main channel here. There is like a part where I say, now the channel is more like a network. We're a bunch of nerds. And then there's that shot. And actually, it's like James Razile, it's Justin, it's myself, and then it's Anime Dan Thomas. Dan Thomas is coming back to the channel as well. And Justin had never left the channel. He just went over and started the gaming channel. But the point is, Justin and I used to do content all the time together. A lot of yeah, definitely. I hear him talking about you, Yoba. That's good stuff. But yeah, so Justin and I used to do a lot of content together. We're expanding the Den of Nerds in 2019. A lot of cool stuff is coming down the pipe. So I'm actually very excited. What if there was a time jump in Captain Marvel to the point where it shows her meeting the Avengers without spoiling it? That's hard. Did you answer that already? Because I'm not paying attention. No, I didn't answer that already. It's possible. I don't know. Look, this whole time travel thing, I really do not know how this is gonna. I really hope it's not in Captain Marvel, like explicitly, and I hope that it's like something that is very carefully used in Avengers Endgame. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy to me. Like, time travel is just tough, man. Time travel is tough. Once you start messing with that, you open yourself up to all these plot holes. You open yourself up to a lot of craziness. So yeah, not really feeling that. Magneto needs to be way bigger than he has ever been used. But yes, Magneto should be like a main villain, imagine the possibilities of them doing. I mean, so in New X-Men, there's this drug that they use that sort of amplifies their mutant powers, and when Magneto takes that stuff, like, yo, it is crazy. Josh, were you imitating the Wizard of Oz? I mean, at one point I was. Yeah, doesn't Justin look a lot like me? Isn't that funny? I have not read Fatal Attractions. I don't. Maybe I have it. I just can't remember it. No, we're basically. I hear what Justin's saying over there. This is gonna be sad. We're kind of like the Becky. We're like Becky white guys, basically. We're pretty much just your standard white guy. I hope Justin's not offended by that. I don't think he will be. Josh, you haven't done a Star Wars live chat in ages. Muhammad, I know. I apologize. I apologize about that. The truth is, I still have a day job, so I do a day job on the weekends, and it's just tough to. It's tough to like carve out time and stuff for that. You know what I mean? Uh, that's awesome. I'm not. I'm not talking shit on Justin. I'm just saying it. The post about Captain Marvel and politics was on point. Kudos to you. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can see you, Yova. I see you over there. Ha 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 ha. He. Is there, Josh? Is there a Den of Nerds beer of choice? Oh my God, you're gonna find this hilarious. You're gonna find this hilarious. Um, the beer of choice for me is Miller Lite. In fact, when I go out all the time, I just almost always get Miller Lite. And my friends are really into like craft beer and all that, right? And so they'll go out and they talk about all these different beers and blah blah blah, this and that, or blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but is it Miller Lite though? You know what I mean? So that's me. That's a little different. What are you guys talking about? You guys are talking about some weird stuff. You guys are talking about some weird stuff. No beer here. Give me the brown stuff. Haha. Hey, look, I'll do some. I actually like wine a lot, to be honest with you. I'm more into wine than I am into beer. Miller Lite over PBR. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta adjust that Nightbot over there. How do we go to Marvel to beer? Hey, look, this is what happens when you go over an hour. This is why I like to keep the live streams about to an hour. You keep them nice and tight. You know what I mean? Nice and tight. I know, Yova. Look, Yova, I know. All right, I know. It's just a look. We've both been working hard on stuff. We used to do some Dragon Ball stuff. I want to say a couple months ago we would do some Dragon Ball stuff. Dude, Nightbot is savage. I need to adjust that Nightbot. That thing is brutal. Yeah, I'm definitely on the wrong coast of wine. You're absolutely right about that. I like old world wine though. I like a lot of Italian wine or French wine. I like that old world stuff, man. Actually, my favorite wine is like Chianti, so I really like Chianti. That's kind of my jam. Or like a blend. It depends. I like a red blend. Trivia minute. In Guardians of the Galaxy, what is the name of the dog in the collector Tenelier Tavan's museum? Clinton stuff had to do cleansing. Yo, you guys are going to some really crazy places in the chat. Is this a Den of Nerds stream or is this some Joe Rogan stuff? Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. I could hop on and do some Apex after Justin gets off. Thanks for hey, if you guys are in here, you still haven't gone over to the Twitch and you want to go say hi to Justin, that would be cool. Cosmo needs a bigger part in the future. 100%. 100%. I'm on Xbox, brother. I'm either on Xbox or PC. I don't have a PS4. My buddy's got a PS4. I mean, I could just stream tomorrow night, guys. You know what I mean? Justin, look, this is the one night Justin can stream, so I do remember him saying that now. Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, Al, so here's the thing, Al. My buddy's got a PS4. And we could play on PS4. Plus, I think they're going to do cross-platform on Apex soon anyways. But I could get on PS4. Like, the game's free. My buddy's got the PS4 right upstairs. I could get on there. It's just like most of my buddies play on Xbox, and then I have it on PC as well. Josh, if I could have one stone, what would it be and why? That's tough, dude. That is tough. I'd probably say space. You know what I mean? Space stone would be great because it would it would be so cool to just be able to like go anywhere. You know what I mean? Go anywhere. Be crazy. If Avengers time travel, why don't they mess with Captain Marvel's story? There's rules, man. So, yeah, he's a lion man Thomas Edison, if you're watching. That's pretty weird. Oh, you play a lot of Warframe? Wayne, that's cool, dude. Warframe is dope, dude. I like Warframe quite a bit. Josh, do we know that Captain Marvel's powers are derived from the Space Stone? I mean, I'm going to say 70% on that. Do I like the Umbrella Academy? Dude, I love the Umbrella Academy, Chris. The Umbrella Academy was dope. I especially like the ending, which I will not spoil for people, but I was just like, I felt like, what a bold ending. I thought it was very cool. So. No, I haven't watched Deadly Class yet. That's a little different because that's like, what is that, on Sci-Fi or something like that? It's on Sci-Fi? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it over here. I'm gonna go hang out in the chat over on Twitch for a little bit. So if you want to go over to the Twitch, that's the link right there. I'll hang out and chat a little bit. We can just hang out with Justin a little bit, and then I'm gonna get out. I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll do some kind of fan chat probably, and then go into a Twitch stream. That's kind of like what I like to do. Hang out with you guys here, and then go do some games. And if you guys want to come play games, I mean, I talk a lot while I'm playing games. We're gonna be hanging and all that. So. Yeah, all good. You guys are amazing. Like I said, I'm going to go over to Justin's stream right now and hang for just a little bit. As I always say, guys, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.